Near mint condition, the home of collected editions. And check out that eye, that's exactly what we want to see. Woo, look at that panel, baby. And that, as they say, is that. How's it going, all you mentees? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions, and today I'm going to give you my overview of the Gatchaman Deluxe Edition Hardcover from Mad Cave Studios. So please join me. And welcome back, everybody. Before going any further, a big thank you to the folks at Mad Cave Studios for sending us a Deluxe Edition Gatchaman Volume 1. This book has been released already. I think it came out sometime in October, November. I'm not quite sure, depending on where you get your books, because of distribution it's been kind of a nightmare. But now officially, I think it's Lunar and then Simon & Schuster who is actually distributing the books. But regardless, here is the overview. Gatchaman Deluxe Edition Volume 1. We do have a cover here by Tommy Lee Edwards and the Mad Cave logo. This has been previously released as a trade paperback. And here it is, compared to the trade paperback. So, the Deluxe Edition from Mad Cave Studios is the same dimensions as the trade paperback, or the same dimensions as a single issue. Now, the trade paperback, I've done an overview of this already, had some glossy finish to it, whereas this is just a flat finish, and there's no dust jacket. Gatchaman Volume 1, Bunn, Batista, Lopez, and Beaudoin. And then right here is the Mad Cave Studios logo. And the back of the book telling you what it collects, the ISBN, and the Mad Cave logo, Gatchaman Deluxe Edition. The triumphant return of Gatchaman, the iconic Japanese animated franchise of 5-member bird-themed superhero team, and that's where they were. Regardless of whether you knew this as the Science Ninja Team Gatchaman, or G-Force, or Battle of the Planets, doesn't really matter how you came across this series, it is back. And it is back in comic book format. Originally coming out in Japan as an animated show from 1972 to 1974. And that series has been released on Blu-ray. So we're going to open this up and we'll do a little comparison to the trade paperback and talk about the type of stories found in here, look at this artwork, and look at the extras in the back to see what the differences are between this edition and the Deluxe Edition. Okay, let's go ahead and get this started. We have end sheets right here, and they're different than the ones in the back. The Gatchaman logo right there. And Volume 1 Deluxe Edition, there are our main characters. Written by Cullen Bunn, Chris Batista is the artist and inkers on issue 0 through 2. Sabrina Cintron is the inker on issues 3 through 5. Carlos Lopez is the colorist. Buddy Beaudoin is the letterer. And we kick it off with issue number 0. This is collecting issues 0 through 5 of the Gatchaman series, and it has 176 pages, retailing for $29.99. So at 176 pages, that already puts it above the 152, which is what the trade paperback had. So really quick, you don't have to know anything about Gatchaman, G-Force, Battle of the Planets to enjoy this. That is something that Cullen Bunn immediately does, and so does Chris Batista, working together. You're immediately introduced to the team. You have Ken the Eagle right here, and then you have Joe the Condor, and June over here doing this amazing, freaking Akira bike slide right there. She is the Swan, and you've got Junpei the Swallow, but we have another member of the team, kind of like the tank of the team, and that is Ryu the Owl. And all of them are being, I guess, kind of like their mentor, and the guy that kind of sends them on mission is this gentleman right here, and that is Dr. Nambu. Now, what's really unique about this series is that we are also going to meet a group of beta team, backup team, these people right here, who will be the replacement team if something were to happen to the original 5. So you've got characters like Mara there and Jace, as well as Haruto and Keiko and Shadow. So yes, the majority of this, of course, is based in Japan, and there's a lot of cities that are being attacked. But it seems like in this version, it can be based anywhere in the world in this particular time period, which is kind of like an alternate reality. And here's our beta team right here that are training and haven't really had a mission themselves. They train with the original Gatchaman team. And by the way, each of the Gatchaman through here, the Science Ninja team, I love that they're throwing it back to that, will have their own special abilities. Like you can tell what their specialty is because Cullen Bunn reintroduces that through these very pages right here. Like you have that June is the communication, disguises, and explosives experts, and so on. And that comes into play a little bit later, because in the first 5 issues, not only do you get to meet them, but you also get to meet, of course, who is sending all of these giant monsters. And that is none other than the characters of Galacta. So, in here, in the very first issue, you find out that a bunch of the kaiju, a bunch of these giant monsters are being sent by a group of villains. And you have the Devil Sisters through here. And then, of course, one of the most popular characters is this guy right here. This is Berg Katse. So he is kind of like, I don't want to say the big cheese. I don't think anybody really calls them the big cheese, do they? Not anymore? That's not still a thing, is it? But it's a very complicated character because there's somebody that he answers to when it comes to the Galactor group. So the Galactor are these villains, and he answers to this guy right here, or this thing that I remember when I was a kid, I thought, what do they call him? Leader X. Zozai X was like a big bird, but no, he actually has a face, just doesn't have a mouth. And we have the Commander, and we have all of these villains through here that come and oppose our main cast of characters. And through here, you're going to see some relationships that weren't really explored in the animated series. You're going to see this character of Mara kind of have a crush on our lead character, of course, of Ken. Who doesn't like Ken? And then you start seeing June becoming a little bit jealous. You'll start seeing some of that happen through here. June goes on a secret mission to infiltrate the characters, or at least one of the bases of the Devil Sisters, but eventually infiltrating all of Galactor. And then the 5th issue sets up something big that is to come later on, with perhaps a change in the ranking of what's happening in Galactor because of something big that happens through here. If you are a fan of the anime, if you're coming here from the anime, it is a joy to read this and looking at all of the different Easter eggs, looking at all the different attacks that they have, and it's beautifully illustrated, and it's a solid read. It's really easy to follow. It's packed with a bunch of nostalgia for all of us that watch the series or watch the translation of the series, but also has enough of an easy story that people can follow. Any new reader can jump on during this time and enjoy these stories and characters. So, with that being said, let's talk about what the extras are through here. What is with the additional pages? So, and what's included in the trade paperback. You have the cover gallery. And this is the cover that they use for the trade paper. I do love Inaki Miranda's covers. I think they're gorgeous. Sanford Green has these connecting covers through here. And I don't know if they've actually done like a connecting cover poster of it, but it's really solid. Like, there's the character of June and Ryu. Yeah, I really like those Sanford Green connecting covers. And then the process pages here. So they give you the script, and they give you the layout, they give you the finished inks and the colors, and then the lettering. So it's really cool that they did that. This is stuff, all new stuff to these collections. And then Galactor having their own limited series, Gatchaman 1 Earth, and the Gatchaman Deluxe Edition. And then, of course, your end sheets. There's actually something that's not collected in here that was found in the trade paperback, and I find that really surprising. And in the trade paperback, you don't get a lot of extras. By the way, you also get, I forgot to mention, the little backup story here that features the character Ken's story. So it does feature a solo Ken story. Same thing was collected here. Now, after the Ken story, you jump to this in the trade paperback, the character designs. And to me, I find that interesting that the character designs, sure, this is the new beta team. So it's the characters Amara and Haruto and those characters. But they're not included in here. Now, of course, what's included in here are all of the variant covers. And here's a timeline of the different releases that they've had of Gatchaman trade paperback. So that is something that you get in here, are the covers, but you don't get those character designs. Interesting that they decided to omit those. Now, as far as the build of this, it is sewn binding, 176 pages, and printed in this glossy paper stock. So I want to do a really quick comparison to the trade paperback. Of course, the paper stock is just a little bit different. They do use glossy paper stock for the trade. And the color tones are just a little bit darker over here for the hardcover. It is the same dimensions as the trade paperback, because we talked about the size of it. And double page spreads like this right here, because of the sewn binding, are able to stay down, especially towards the beginning. Over here we have glued binding on the trade paperback. Let's actually get to this page and then issue number 1 with the cover. So instead of actually having the main cover, what they do is they put panels from inside of the issue in here. And again, the way it lays over with the double page spreads. But that is what Gatchaman Deluxe Edition is. And that, as they say, is science. Ninja Team, fly! Okay, it had to be done. If you're interested in purchasing this deluxe edition, don't forget to check out our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content, the page count, and build of this deluxe edition. In the comments down below, let me know if you are picking up the series, whether you're picking it up in a trade paperback format or whether you're picking up the deluxe editions. You've been waiting for the hardcovers. Or maybe one day they'll have a big fat hardcover of all this when it's all said and done. And of course, if you were a big fan of the Gatchaman, Battle of the Planets, G-Force, whatever you knew it as. That's it, everybody. Stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.